All right, what's going on YouTube? So we have the new Levoit vacuum that came out. As you can see, this thing is a beast. I'm just gonna tell you that right away. I got excited and actually just went ahead and not bought it. I went ahead and unboxed it immediately. It has a ton of filters. It's cordless, obviously. Like I said, it has a dock, which you can actually use for charging and hang up on the wall. You have three different attachments actually, and I'll show you that right now, including the stick vacuum itself. But it's removable for this part. It's really, really cool. I love this vacuum already. But you do have basically your manuals here. So you have just different information here talking about the different auto settings and the control panel, it's what it's called. It has an auto mode button, increase, decrease power, basically the brush flow, which is right there. Here's the vacuum. You have the Levoit little logo right there, the control panel right there. Very simple. It has a very sleek and modern design. My whole family likes the design. It looks really nice. Very expensive looking. You have a support right there. Contact pins for charging. You have two ways of charging this. You can either hardwire it in or you can use the charging pins. I believe charging pins are slightly slower than direct current, but you do have that on the wall, ready, easily available. You have the little bin here, which is removable. I did already start cleaning with it, but you have that little bin and there's a filter in there. There's a little filter right there. There's a filter right here, which you take off. You can remove this little filter. So that's a little baby filter. And usually these last about 6 months to a year, depending on the usage. You also have a filter in here. It's really good. And Levoit obviously is the best for making air purifiers, so they don't want all the junk to get in the air. So it's pretty smart that they actually made this. Basically catch up the HEPA filters with multiple different protection levels. So you have one right there, you have a main filter right here. I believe there's a total of like 3 or 4 filters in here. Very nice. The weight on it is pretty good. This is a 25.5 volt battery, by the way. And the milliamp ratage is actually, okay, so it's 25.9 volt, 400 watt cordless. Take out the battery with these little parts here. And then it has the little contact pins right there. Little carbon fiber look on top, and then oh, here it is. Okay, so you have a little warning label. 2500 milliamp, pretty good power, not gonna lie. Satisfyingly, you just put it in the slot, there you go, and you're good. To turn it on and off, you just have a little handle here, and there's a button, or a trigger I should say, and that's the on and off. You just press it, and then you have it going right there. These vents on the side shoot out clean air, and this obviously sucks in air, and we will measure the fan speed and current and everything else like that right now as well. So let's go ahead and get this here. So I have my metering right here. Let's go ahead and turn this on. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on. It's gonna be on the first setting first. I'll try to capture this as best as possible. All right, now we're gonna keep ramping it up. It looks like on average it was about 81 decibels on the first setting. So it gets close to 100. We're gonna get a thermal gun here, and it's at right around 100 degrees. So at its max speed and everything, it gets pretty hot, or warm I should say. I'm gonna keep it on and try it again. So it looks like it does do a pretty good job at keeping itself maintained on the highest setting. It went up to about 108 degrees, but it does a really good job at keeping cool air on the first and second setting. And then from there, it gets escalated quickly with heat and temperature goes a little bit higher. But 108, I mean, it seems decent. And it does blow out like warm air on the sides when it's on those higher settings. And I'll show you how much it'll actually output with wind speed. All right, so this is what we have. Measures wind speed, miles per hour, and temperature as well. So we'll go ahead and try that again. And it'll look like the battery is pretty much dead, so it won't be outputting as much. So I will need to charge this, but that, we're gonna go ahead and try it again. We're gonna check out the wind. All right, so it seems like it went from 10 all the way to up to 15 miles per hour in wind speed, which is a decent amount. And you can see the temperature change. It was in Celsius at first, and I changed it to Fahrenheit as well. The battery did die, and it didn't really affect the performance of the base of it. I'll also probably test out the bottom piece, but it is basically dead right now, so I can't really test it out fully. But you get the gist of it. It is very powerful, 15 miles per hour, which is a decent amount of speed considering that it's a cordless vacuum. And it does do a really good job at picking up pretty much everything. You know, you can pick up sugar, you can pick up light crumbs, you can pick up a bunch of stuff, even heavy stuff. I've picked up like hard to get stuff that normally sometimes my robot vacuum or something else won't get. Good for a deeper clean, for sure. I see a lot of people hate on cordless vacuums, but actually they're a lot better than you think. You don't need a super professionally done deep cleaned carpet every single time you vacuum. That's a lot of wasted power and energy and just everything. This is a quick solution to be able to just pick something up really quick, and it does a really good job, especially on the most powerful setting. If you need to do a super deep clean, obviously it's going to drain the battery a lot faster, but it's a really quick solution. It's very powerful. Now you do have multiple different attachments. This is one of them. This is the main one. You do have obviously the rollage here, and there's a button on the top here. You just press it, and then you're able to easily take it out for the brush, and you can take off all the hair, anything else like that. Very simple, very easy. I love that you're able to do that with this. Then you're ready to put it back. You can do like that. This does have front LEDs right here, so you can actually see what you're doing, especially at night, or if it's just a little darker in your room or whatever, or darker under an area, you can easily clean that. They're all similar connections. Some of them have pins here, which do need the power for the certain attachments, such as the light. So it needs the power to turn on this light here. I'll go and turn it on. So this has rotating power, and it has the LED as well. This does swivel a bit. I'll go and show you right now. So as you can see, you do have little turning and swiveling and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to maneuver. It's kind of weird to get used to that all the weight is down here. And the only downside for this vacuum is that it doesn't stand up on its own. If I let go, it'll easily fall. Just like that. I didn't mean to drop it, but I ended up dropping it. Leaning it up against a wall, or to be safe, just keep it on the floor. Charging base, which I will show you, it does have this little power adapter as well. So you can charge the battery directly or keep it on the power station. This one is rated at 30 volt, 500 mAh. So it's a pretty decent power supply. I'm gonna get the little attachments. So the little attachments are right here, as you can see. This is the station, and it does have easily accessible attachments that have little clip-ons basically, so it will not fall off. You just take it off with the little button, which is nice. I like this little station here, and it has the charging pins on the top, as well as the charging port, which is at the bottom right here. There we go. And then you do have this brush here, which is nice. A little fabric part right there. And then you can adjust this brush here, the length. So if you don't or do want it. This nozzle here, it's like a angled one, and it has rubber on the front. Pretty nice. And you can extend it, and it's fairly long, as you can see. Probably like 1.5 feet or so. Plug it in like so. But yeah, you have that, and then you have the little nozzle. Then if you need to put it back in, unextend it. So that's what that looks like, and you can easily just pick up stuff in your car or little crevices and stuff like that. So I have a little spot here. I don't know if you can see that. You see I have crumbs right there? I have basically 2 nozzles I can try out. I have this one, and then I have the edge sweeping, or we could just do the standard stick brush, but I really want to try the other nozzles out. So let's go ahead and try it out. We have brush, and then we could just lift it up if we want that one as well. I think I'll just use it like this, see how good it picks it up. Lowest setting. Pretty quick. As you can see, it was pretty quick. Well, some of it fell out because I didn't suck it all the way out, but it was on the lowest setting, and within 3 passes, it pretty much took it all out. There's some crumbs at the edge right here, which might be better for the edge. So let's test that part out. And then I'll just extend it for fun, just to see if it reaches all the way. I think my light died. All right, it actually reaches that far, so, and it still picks it up really fast. I think my light died, but try it again. Yeah, it's about to die. So it picked it up really well. I'm gonna try to capture this. As you can see, it picked up the edge, all of it. It's all gone basically, and that was really quick. It was like a quick little here and there. So this thing, I've seen reviews on this in the past on a very critical video, and that video was, I don't know what that was, but I don't even know, because he was basically lying about it, or it was actually he just got a bad model. But this model that I have right now is mind-blowing, and it's very pleasing. I love this vacuum already. I'm not even getting paid for it, and even if I was, I wouldn't be saying good stuff about a product if it was bad. And that, once again, that was on the lowest setting, and I think it was on auto actually. So if you pop it open, you can see we pretty much got all the stuff in there, got all the crumbs, some of the hair. It's really good at picking up everything. So I'm gonna see how this goes in the long run, but so far, out of the first 2 days I have this, it's so good. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of my room now. But the lights help out so much more than you think. Because if you're in a dark hallway, or if you don't want to turn on the light or anything, you can easily just have these pick up anything, and you can actually see more of the dust or whatever, anything that needs to be picked up, the crumbs, everything. You can see that with the LEDs way better than just any other light. Even if you have lights on, this helps out since it's at a certain angle where you can actually see everything way better than normal. So it's really, really helpful. I really love this vacuum. For their first vacuum, it's actually really, really good, and just better than most out there. It's really good, comparable to the Dyson or anything that's super, super expensive, like $700 to $600. This thing is just way, way better, and honestly, I think it's way much worth it compared to anything else out there. All right, I apologize for the audio in advance because we are like right here from the heater and stuff like that. But we're in our garage right now. We're gonna have our extender for the actual device that's gonna go here. We're gonna drill it on the wall right there. And the extension cord basically just goes all the way, this outlet right there. So yeah, to be able to mount the vacuum. This is gonna be pretty fun. I'm gonna try to go as quick as possible, but if you can't hear me or whatever, I do a voiceover or something. All right, so this is typically what you need. Some painter's tape, something to basically mark out the area, obviously a drill, some drill bits, and a basically standard tri-head. So we're gonna go ahead and position the spot. I'm gonna go ahead and move this for the charging. It's on the bottom, which is a weird placement. They should have put it on the top because that's where it slots in. We'll just place it right here. So we'll do that. Then we gotta get another one for the other end right there. It's not really straight, but it's okay. Just mark it out. So I'm gonna make sure we're on the blue tape on the back. Looks like we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out the area. So now we have basically all our little spots here. Just gotta drill it and then we're good. So we're gonna be using the drywall anchors. So now that we have our holes made, as you can see, just take off the tape. Now we got basically clean areas where we're gonna be working with. As you can see, nice and clean areas. That's actually way stronger than I thought. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it holds. We're good. As you can see, that's what it looks like. It's nice because you can conveniently grab your, your corner hose or whatever and put it back instantly. And we are charging, as you can see. But yeah, you can easily have those prongs, which are on the battery itself, and you can charge your device like that. It's very cool, very simple, good for charging, and yeah, I'd personally probably put a smart plug on here just so I can like do a cycle on it instead of always being charging. So I can have it at a cycle through in the early morning stages. That way it's the cheapest charging. If you didn't know that, energy is cheaper in the morning since not a lot of people are on it. This is my first time actually owning a cordless vacuum, and I do really like it. Battery life is really good, surprisingly, especially cordless. The ability to be able to just take it out whenever you want from the charging dock or wherever you're keeping it stored, and just clean up an area is just very, very helpful. The filter so far, I will actually go ahead and show you what it looks like. So far after about a month, it is basically really, really clean. So I'm assuming it should last a very long time. Now we do occasionally actually clean out the actual tray itself. So this part right here, we do actually clean out in the actual garbage bin. Don't dispose of it out or inside, I should say. Dispose of it on the outside. That way, dust particles get in there or whatever. It's cleaner, it's just better. And basically I store this near the trash can. So it just makes sense to walk a few more steps and empty it out rather than just dumping it in the indoor trash can and having it smell like dust. And it's really bad overall. Super quick pickups and stuff like that, and if you even do a full carpet, it still does about 2 to 3 times before you have to replace it. So the cartridge is fair. It's not as big as a vacuum, like a corded vacuum, since they have a lot of bigger tanks. This one is obviously a lot smaller, but so you're gonna have to take it all out. That's the only downside to it. And the other downside is that it doesn't stand up on its own, so obviously you can't rest it anywhere. You have to leave it down on the ground. But other than that, it's one of my favorites. It is actually my favorite. It's my go-to vacuum to clean up my room now. So if you're gonna go for a robot vacuum versus this one, 100% pick up a cordless vacuum, especially from Levoit. It's gonna last a lot longer. It's easier to maintain, less of a hassle than the robot vacuums, especially the cheap ones. Like the Eufy, I had to always maintain it practically a lot, and you have to eyeball it all the time and make sure it doesn't go over cables and stuff like that, especially since they're not as smart as the smartest $1,000 vacuums. Like I have a $1,000 vacuum basically that you're able to 3D map, and it's a lot better. It does a little better job, cleans, mops, does everything else like that. It's not as good as that obviously because it's a big price difference, but if you had an option to pick basically a $200 vacuum that's cordless that you can do on your own versus a robot vacuum, I would pick this one all day long. And especially since they always have deals going on, they're on Amazon, you can check them out. I 100% recommend you guys get this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We out.